everybody. My name is Haley, and I'm your host for the mic tonight. Who's excited? I know I am, because we have a lot of great talent here tonight, all right? So first up, we have Anna Flynn, who is a senior and a music education major. Please give it up for Anna, who is doing stand-up.
Hey, hi, everyone. So I'm Anna, and I am a senior here at Delaware, and I have had to learn a lot of life lessons here. And looking back on my 4 years, I am really glad that there are some lessons that I learned before I even got here, because it would have made my life a lot harder if I haven't figured out my sexuality before I came to Delaware. It all started when I was a sophomore in high school. There was this girl that walked into my algebra class, and I thought she was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. And I was super smooth, and I was like, hey, want to be lab partners? And we started talking for a while. We started talking for about a month. And I grew up on Long Island, and I grew up in a really small conservative school district in town. So I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. She didn't either. So 1 month into this whole rendezvous, she says, hey, I actually like someone else. I can't be with you. And at the time, everyone needs a homoerotic friendship during high school. So I decided, do you want to be friends? And she said, yeah. Do you want to come to my church youth group next week? And I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, I actually have a guy I want to set you up with. He's my ex. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I had never gone on a date before, never even been kissed by anyone. I was so excited. So we go to youth group. I meet this guy, Jordan, really girly name, but obviously I let it slide. And so we go on a date, and he kisses me, and it feels like a wet sponge in my mouth. And I should have known then, but I just figured he was the wrong guy. Nothing else happened to me until a week before I graduated high school. My best friend was graduating, and at her graduation party, I showed up, and she had a boyfriend that was in a band. And all of the members of the band came to this party, and I was super excited because Liz's parents were super chill. There was alcohol everywhere, and I was drinking for the first time ever. Obviously, I was very sheltered as a child. So I was drinking everywhere, and I was talking to this guy. His name was Michael. And he planned on majoring in jazz at the new school this upcoming year. I'm a music education major, so I was like, oh my God, this is the right guy for me. I was drunk off my mind. He played trumpet and keyboard in the band, but I decided to ignore that because I thought he was cute enough. And so we were hanging out in my friend's pool, and all of the parents were everywhere. There was grandparents, there was cousins, and we're talking. He's like, can I kiss you? And I'm like, yeah. So then we're making out in this pool, surrounded by her family members. And all of a sudden, I finally had some common sense in my drunkenness and said, hey, do you want to go somewhere else and make out? And he said, yeah, I have my car. Do you want to go to my car? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm sopping wet, half naked in his car. And we're making out, and it's pretty dark outside. And I see the headlights of this car coming by. And so we break away because I'm I don't want to see someone having me make out in a car. That's kind of embarrassing. So I break away from him, and he's like, why are you crying? And I'm like, Michael, I think I'm a lesbian. And so he's like, oh, that's okay. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I think I am. And he's like, oh, it's okay. And I was like, I don't really want to go back inside just yet. I don't really want to do that. And he's like, well, we could listen to my band. So we're sitting in his car, listening to his band's shitty cover of Blackbird by the Beatles in my bathing suit. And all of a sudden, after that song, I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready to go inside. So I go inside, and all my friends are like, Anna, how was it? how was it? And I'm like, I realized I'm a lesbian. And they were like, oh, well, like, good for you. Like, good for you. So then we go upstairs, and his friends are like, Anna, how was it? Anna, how was it? And I'm like, well, I think I'm a lesbian. And his friends go, oh, well, that's the second time that happened to him. So I'm really glad that I cleared up the fact that I was gay for realsies before I got to college, because I realized that it would have been really confusing if I didn't know whether I actually liked men or was just like joking. Because a lot of times when you're at a bar and you see someone, you see a short king from DKI with a crew cut flannel and jeans, looks a lot like a masculine lesbian, and I just could not handle that confusion. So thank you, everyone. That was my skit.
All right, everybody, let's give one more hand for Anna. So next up, we have AJ Ruminetti. Some of you guys may know him. He is a senior and a media communications major. He is a president of STN, and he's the guy that taught me everything that I know. So please give it up for AJ, who is also doing stand-up.
Thank you, Haley. All right. Hey, guys. What's up? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. So if you don't know who I am, fuck you. Just kidding. I'm AJ Rubinetti, and I'm definitely not letting being president of the fine organization that is STN go to my head at all. But seriously, thank you guys all for coming out. We have a lot of great acts for you tonight, and we put a lot of work into getting this show ready for you. So really appreciate you coming out, and just be mindful, okay? Like, give me a break. I'm a TV show host. I'm not used to this like memorizing stand-up shit. I can usually just look at the prompter and all my lines are right there for me, and then I can be funny. So I just have bullet points, all right? So just bear with me, guys. So anyways, the first time I performed at the mic, and I use the air quotes because it needs to be taken with a grain of salt, was last semester when I originally signed up to perform. Then a couple days later, I was like, no, I'm too stressed out. I can't write a set. Got to the show because, you know, I'm a good, you know, member of STN. I'm still going to help out as I can. And then I got there and I just had a change of heart. I was like, you know what? I just turned 21. I could definitely talk about that for, you know, a couple minutes. Some weird, interesting shit happened to me when I turned 21. That just led to me getting up on the stage in like without preparing like any sort of script and just blabbing about total nonsense for 12 minutes. Yeah, 12. I literally had to be shooed off of the stage. I watched it back a couple months ago and was like violently embarrassed at how fucking long it took me to realize I was being shooed off the stage. So anyways, we're not going to do that tonight. But what I did learn from that experience is that I can talk about myself for hours if you let me. Like, it's probably why the only therapist I went to in my life was not upset that I didn't come back for the next appointment. He was probably just like, okay, dude, yeah, you're fine. Another thing that I recently learned about myself is that I'm weirdly approachable, and not in like the, oh, he has such a welcoming aura about him way. Like, no, I've been told I look like I wanted to murder someone just walking down the street. Like, I definitely have a resting bitch face, so I don't really know why strangers just like to come up to me in public, but they do. So anyways, one time I was here over the summer moving in, and I was walking on Main Street getting something from Walgreens, and you know, it's the summer, so it's dead. I guess this guy just needed someone to approach for his small business. He comes out to me, he's like, yo, can you follow my Instagram and take a selfie with me, and then I'll give you a free sticker? And I'm like, damn, I mean, I know it's Main Street, and like, people are like known for being obnoxious and coming up to you asking for things and money. You dance. But like, really? Like me? Like, why am I the person that gets approached all the time? I mean, like, yeah, I did it. I wanted the free sticker. It was like a little cactus. It was cute. But I just don't understand why these things happen to me. There was another time when I worked at my public library in high school. Best years of my life, honestly. Those middle-aged women worshiped the ground I walked on. Donna, Jen, Corinne, Melissa, if you're watching this, which you're definitely not, much love to you. Another person who took a liking to me at the library was our security guard. He was a retired police officer who was hired to do security despite nothing of interest ever going on at a public library. Like, why would you need a security guard for a library? Except for the one time when I got pranked on Halloween. I was in the aisles, you know, I worked in the children's section, and I was getting these texts from someone claiming to know all the different codes to like the library doors, and they knew which aisle I was in and which kind of books I was putting away. I was fucking tweaking out. I was like, how does this person know what I'm doing right now? Like, only I know the codes to the doors and like a couple other people. It was like this random person from my high school. So I get freaked out. I tell my manager, and she tells the security guard. The security guard, he jumped right into action. I mean, this man had to be at least 80 years old. Probably the first like piece of crime he'd seen in like years. Like you would have thought like he like was like 20 years old. He was like, I'm calling the police on this guy. Like we are getting to the bottom of this. I was like, okay, like it's not that serious, but like thank you. Turns out it was just my coworker using someone else's phone to play a prank on me, and that's why he knew all of the codes and everything. Like. I didn't even know him that well. We worked opposite shifts. I actually never even met him. Like we never worked with each other. Had to write me an apology letter and everything. It was wild. But anything, back to the security guard. He took a liking to me because my real name is Anthony and his name was Anthony, and he would always like change between calling me Anthony or AJ on whatever day he felt like it. It kind of really bothered me, but he was old and nice, so I just like let him call me whatever he wanted. So one of the last times I saw him was right before COVID happened, right before quarantine. He came up to me and was like telling me people were blaming Trump for everything, and it's not his fault that like COVID is happening, and people just need to have a personal connection with Jesus Christ. And I'm like, dude, I just clocked in 20 minutes ago. Like I do not need this right now. But me being the person I am, I was like, let me engage. So I'm like, well, actually, I think people can connect with whoever or whatever it is they want. And he's like, no, it has to be with Jesus Christ. And I'm like, okay, all right, sorry, Grandpa, trying to be inclusive here. Then proceeds to hand me some handwritten, mostly illegible salvation prayer on a piece of bright pink notebook paper. And that was the last time I ever saw him. Pretty nice guy. I don't know if he died. The last time I saw him before COVID. But yeah, so then the most recent event that happened was a couple weeks ago. I was home for Thanksgiving break. And yeah, I know, crazy. Doesn't that happen to anyone else that happened to? So yeah. I was getting food with my friends, as one does, and I was the first one to order. And the way this restaurant works is like you order first, and then you go and like fill up your drink, and then the buzzer goes off, and you go pick up the food. It's weird, I don't know. So I was the first one to order. I round the corner, I'm going to fill up my drink, and all of a sudden I hear, Stanford University, huh? And I'm like, Stanford? And then I look down at my shirt and remember I'm wearing a shirt that says Stanford University. It's one of those shirts that I just like left at home. You know, like those shirts that you purposely leave at home because you just can't be seen wearing them around here. Like that's my one shirt that I leave at home. Also, side note, does anyone think it's like chuggy when people wear like you're wearing a Maryland shirt right now. You go to Delaware. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't care if your girlfriend or boyfriend goes to Delaware. Like, or Maryland. Go to fucking like wear a blue hen shirt. Like, whatever. So hence why I swear that was included in my script. You were just right in front of my eyes. Anyways. So I just keep the Stanford shirt at home. So I'm like, I look around, I find my perpetrator. He's like this huge guy, like has to be at least 6'5". He was on his Jacob Elordi shit for real, except for the fact that he looked nothing like Jacob Elordi. I'm like, oh no, I'm just a poser. I picked this up at Plato's and just hoped and prayed the conversation would end there because I was really just trying to eat my quesadilla. It did not end there. So then he's like, let me ask you a question. And when faced with this particular phrasing of words in the past, I knew only one or two things could come out of his mouth. He's going to ask me for money, or he's going to ask me if I'm gay. It's just like public school trauma. He didn't ask me either of those things. He goes, deadpan, The Simpsons or Family Guy? And I'm like, Family Guy? Wrong answer. He goes on this fucking like minute-long rant, like screaming in the middle of this restaurant about how Family Guy ripped off The Simpsons, and Lois is a rip-off of Marge, and Stewie Griffin, his only personality trait is that he wants to kill his mother, and Bart Simpson is the original, like America's lovable, like teen boy. And I'm like, okay, dude, like I'm just a casual viewer of both shows. I just picked one so you would get the fuck out of my face. And just kind of like nodded along and was like, uh-huh. My friends, like this all happened in a span of like a minute, mind you. And finally my friends like get their food and I'm like, okay, like maybe we should go find a table now. And I just left the scene. So anyways, I feel like I personally handled those last two scenarios well. They could have escalated in my opinion. I mean, so if anyone ever says to you that comm majors can't do hard things, send them my way because I handled that shit like a pro. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for listening to me blab for not 12 minutes this time.
All right, everybody, let's give it up for AJ once again. Yeah. All right, next up, now we have Jake Robinson, who is a junior and marketing major. You can check out his Instagram. You can ask him about it after the show, where you can see all of his music. Please give it up for Jake, who is singing These Four Walls by Kamari. Woo!
Hi, guys. I sit alone in a castle of isolation. And every day I grow more and more impatient while you keep me waiting for your call, but you never call. If I didn't know different, I think you didn't care at all. You said you'll meet me halfway, but I know you won't. More than not these days, I feel this way. But these four walls keep me company. They don't ask for much, don't just up and leave. These four walls, I've got these four walls, even when you don't call. I try to find the words to say, it's like walking through minds, 'cause we were born on different planets, but you would love it back in mine. Afraid to shoot my shot 'cause if I miss, but I try, waiting for your call, but you never call. If I didn't know different, I think you didn't care at all. You said you meet me halfway, but I know you won't. More than not these days, I feel this way. These four walls keep me company. They don't ask for much, don't just up and leave. These four walls, I've got these four walls, even when you don't call. Stuck on the inside, looking outside. In this lonely hour, I've got these four walls keep me company. They don't ask for much, don't just up and leave. These four walls, hey, I've got these four walls, even when you don't call. Oh. I've got these four walls, even when you don't call. Thank you.
All right, everybody, let's give another great hand for Jake. Woo! All right, so next up we have Serafina Carollo, who is a junior in business management and media communications major. Please give it up for Sarah, who's trying stand-up for her first time. Who's excited? Let me hear it!
As you guys know. Oh. And I'm trying stand-up for the first time, as you guys know. Woohoo! Right? And I really just want to take a moment, if you'll allow me, right, to thank God for this opportunity. I've been looking forward for it for a really long time, and I'm just fucking with you. I don't want to talk about God. I am going to tell you about my summer, though, right? Hags. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you about the best of times and the worst of times that took place this summer, and maybe even my life. I don't really know. Like, parents' divorce was pretty shitty, but what I'm about to tell you might top it. Okay. We're going to start happy, right? We're going to start best of times, right? So me and my friend Marissa are down the shore, right? The Jersey Shore. Yeah. just got done tanning and doing our laundry. I'm kidding, that was a Jersey Shore reference, right? What we were actually doing is we were getting ready to go to the bar, right? We were on a mission to get served because we were still 20, right? So, the whole nine, we'd curl our hair and fucking push-up bra, the, heels, and we got into a bar, right? We started into a bar, and immediately upon entering, we noticed, like, a roughly 50-year-old man, right? Like, divorced, obviously. You know the type. You know what I'm talking about, right? Sitting alone. And my initial thought is, Dad? But we got a closer look. It wasn't my dad. It wasn't my dad. He was at the bar down the street. I know, right? But we were like, bingo, that's our guy, right? We're going to chat him up, right? Side note, I feel like sitting alone at the bar is kind of like getting bangs, right? People are going to notice, right? And they might even give you attention, right? They might even say, oh, nice haircut, or nice to meet you, right? But directly after giving you that attention, they're going to turn to their friend and they're going to go, what the fuck happened to them? I know, it's so sad. I know, it's so sad, right? Shout out bangs. So anyway, we zone in on this dude, right? And we sit down, we start chatting. What's your name, major? Where'd you live freshman year? You know what I mean? Right? And we find out that his name's Todd. Okay, hi Todd. Right, hi Todd. Right? And he's a CEO. Right? Right? I like sit up straight. But of a company that creates tracking devices for glasses. Right? I had no fucking clue what that meant. But of course, upon hearing this information, me and Marissa are like, wow, my God, Todd, that's so amazing. Tell me more. Wait, can you track sunglasses? I love sunglasses, right? You got it. Right? So we're chatting him up, and finally he pops the question. He goes, do you girls want to do shots? You know what I mean? Twist my arm. I'm like, I thought you would never ask. Let's do shots, right? So he orders a round of shots. And not just any shots, my friends, right? Chilled Casamigo shots, right? Are you kidding? Ow, ow, right? Chilled Casamigo shots. Okay, CEO, you know what I'm saying? I see you, right? I forgot my fur coat at home. I didn't know we were royals for the night, you know what I mean? Cheers, right? So we're talking, we're cheersing to life and liberty, you know what I mean? And we're talking, and he tells us about his daughter, who can't see anymore, but he like glazed over that part, whatever. He goes on to tell us about his stint in rehab, which I'm gonna be honest was a little confusing, right? Because he's telling us about rehab as he was sipping a martini. Right? I don't know how that works. Maybe he was well behaved and they let him out early. I don't know. He goes on to tell us about an ex of his, right? And how, like, she broke his heart. We have to sit there and act surprised. What? She broke up with you? The CEO of WhereAreMyGlasses.com? What is she thinking? Right? And mind you, throughout these riveting conversations, right? Me and Marissa are saying things like, Todd, doesn't this key lime martini look amazing? I think all three of us should get one. Let's just order, right? So we ordered. And throughout the night, we've racked up 3 rounds of shots, 4 martinis, right? And mind you, me and Marissa have zero means of paying for this shit, right? Zero means, right? Our goal was a vodka cran to go in the dance floor, right? We were balls deep in so much random willy-nilly $30 shots, right? I know. And as this realization is setting in, right? As I realize that the only money to my name is the $20 bill crumbled up in the back of my phone case. You know what I mean? You get it. As I'm nervous as hell, right? Marissa calls over a waiter, right? We're at a bar, but it's a restaurant with a bar. You know what I mean? Right? So it's restaurant. Excuse me, she goes, excuse me, could I order a filet medium, please? True story. So internally, I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm like, we don't have any money. She's so dumb, right? I'm freaking out. But on the outside, I just go, oh my God, such a good idea. Can I also get one, please? Medium? Thank you. No, I was hungry. I was hungry. All right? So we're ordering queens, right? And finally, Todd comments, as he should. He goes, wow, girls, that bill's getting pretty high. And I'm like, yeah, right. Nervous as hell. And without skipping a beat, Marissa turns to him and she goes, but that's okay, because you're going to pay for it. Ah, right? Girlhood, you know what I mean? And he totally did. He totally paid for it. Ow, ow! awesome. It's fucking glorious, right? Right? But you wanna know what's way more glorious than that? Throughout this finagling, right, there was a table of like 30-year-old women, right? Like oxygen tanks. I know! Right? Glaring at us and rolling their eyes the entire time. Because they knew what we were up to, right? Like, I get it, right? Like, their shots were room temp. Right? That sucks, right? Call back, right? Like, their babysitters are calling, they have to pick up their kids. Like, that sucks. I would hate me too, right? Right? But on our end of the bar, right? Todd's just signing at the track, right? Thank you, Todd, right? You know? And me and Marissa pretty much hand in hand skip out of that place, right? Like, we're laughing and we're empowered. I feel like I just fucking robbed a bank and got away with it, right? And for the first time, I realized that a man would actually buy me shit despite still wearing clothes. Right? Cheers to Todd. Now for the worst of times. Now for the worst of times. Later on this summer, right, me and another friend were going to pick up third friend. I just have a lot of friends. It's like not a big deal. It's whatever. From a hookup's house, right? We were picking up another friend from a hookup's house, right? And I anticipated this to be like an Uber situation, right? Where I get there and I've arrived and she gets in the car and we go home and pillow fight or do whatever the fuck girls do, you know? Paint our nail, you get it. So we arrive and passenger friend goes, should we just go inside and say hi for a second? Right? No, we chose to do that, right? Right? But of course I'm like, okay. I guess, right? We can go inside. So we go inside and we're directed to go down the stairs to what the hookup will later describe as his own floor of the house, right? His own floor of the house. Which is code for his parents' basement. It's code for his parents' basement. And you guys know what it looked like, right? It had like the tan, disgusting couches, like what the fuck is the stain? You know what I mean? The Coors Light, the pool table, no one plays pool, like the Saturdays are for the boys, like you know the type of flags he had up there. Like based on the decor, you knew who he voted for. You know what I mean? I'm kidding, he so didn't vote. He so didn't get up to vote. He was playing FIFA, obviously he didn't vote, right? So we got in there and we end up talking to this kid for like 30 minutes, right? I find out his name is Jimmy. Cool. Hi, Jimmy. Nice to meet you. Right? I have no idea who this is. We find out his grandmother lives with them. Cute, fun, nice, you know, right? Get to chatting, right? And we're interrupted by his dad walking downstairs, right? So, you know, the floor of the house that he owns, whatever. And this is just a side note. The dad was super hot. Like, that was just awesome. Like, the dad was just super hot. Like, Jimmy probably looks like his mom. You know what I mean? You know. What a shame. So the dad's really nice, and he goes, "Are you girls gonna stay for lunch?" And of course, everyone's like, "Sure, yeah, right." And I'm like, "I'm not, right? No." But I go, "Yeah, thank you, yeah, right." Mm-hmm. Okay. So then we go upstairs and make our way upstairs. So like, I think a family-owned floor. I don't know who claimed the upstairs floor, but you know what I mean? Community floor. I don't know, right? And this is where we meet Meemaw for the first time, right? Jimmy's grandma. She's a nice old lady, right? Sweet as hell, right? They give us like sandwiches, where the fuck was on the menu, I don't know, right? And Meemaw, immediately, she's like, would anyone like a drink? Right? Pretty normal, right? But as if they rehearsed and I just like didn't go to practice that day, everyone was like, no, we're good, right? And I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm thirsty, right? Like, I don't have a meal without a bed, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, no, okay, it's fine, right? And we sit down, you know, sorry now about the cord, you're gonna hate me. We sit down, we're eating, right? And for a second time, right? Meemaw goes, would anyone like a drink? And at this point, I know she knows. She knew we were being polite earlier, right? She knew we wanted a drink, right? She gets it, right? But of course, again, everyone, no. I'm like, no, I'm good, right? Dying, can't swallow it. No, I'm good, right? Keep eating, right? Keep eating. More minutes pass by, right? And for a third time, and I promise you guys, now she has like a pitcher of lemonade. I don't know how, right? Fresh squeeze, the whole thing, like Betty Crocker. Like it was, now she has a pitcher of lemonade, right? And for a third time, she goes, would anyone like a drink? And in a house full of people that I had just met, I decide to leap, right? And if you know me, I don't fucking leap, I don't walk, I don't jump, I don't go upstairs, you know what I mean? I leap out of my seat, right? To this poor old woman, I say, yes, Meemaw, I do want a drink. You knew we were being polite earlier. I love you, Meemaw, yes, right? What the fuck is wrong with me, right? That was pre-mens, you know what I mean? So I'm making a circus in front of this woman in this house. So I'm like, yes, I love you, whatever, right? And she's shaking. She's like kind of scared. Like, she's old, so whatever, right? She pours lemonade. She kind of misses. It's fine. It's the thought that counts. You know what I mean? So I have my drink, and meanwhile, while this circus is happening, I'm like yelling and, you know what I mean, jumping up for joy. Friends at the table are laughing, but they're kind of like keeping it to themselves. They're like laughing, but they're like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? They're like laughing, you know? And I'm not getting it. I'm like, they're just fucking mad, right? Like, stay mad. They're just jealous. I'm hydrated. They're not. I get it, whatever. So I sat down, and there's still tension, right? And I couldn't, you know, I wasn't in on it. I didn't know what was happening, but there was still tension. And this is a true story. Swear to God. I'm sitting down with my bag, right? Meanwhile comes over again. The table, right? And for a fourth time, she goes, would anyone like a drink? Right? And that was the moment, right? That I remember Jimmy telling me, in his floor of the house, obviously, that his grandmother had dementia. Right? I know, yeah. It's not that she knew I was thirsty, it's that she fucking forgot that she asked me, you know what I mean? Mortified, right? I was fucking mortified. And thank God that Mima, like, changed the subject pretty quick, right? Thank God. Because she goes, has anyone seen my glasses? I can't find my glasses, right? So her tries go, Mima, I know just the guy for you. Thank you.
All right, everybody, that was Serafina. So those were all amazing acts, but don't go anywhere. We have a quick commercial break, and then we have a bunch of other acts coming up after, all right? So we'll see you in a little bit.
News starts right now.
I'm Emma Schneider here with your entertainment news.
I'm Laura Daly here with this week's weather update. We could see the clouds are moving in to the area as the night progresses.
I went out to find out what students really think.
Let's see what students at the University of Delaware have to say.
Here's what you can do to keep yourself safe during this holiday season.
Sadly, that is all we have for you tonight on 49 News.
It's back. We're back.
Hence Sport Night, your University of Delaware sports broadcasting show.
That team from Boston. Just because they got a leprechaun don't mean they're going to be lucky.
How has your experience been playing field hockey here?
How magical was the beginning of the season for you guys?
Who are you rooting for this World Cup?
Probably the USA or Scotland.
Watch the play. I don't think I've seen it though. Yeah, you can't guard them. That's not your body.
It's her first time in 10 years. So we're like kind of at the same level.
Welcome to Real Talk.
What is the best Halloween candy?
You had to play a song every time you came into the room. What song would it be?
This movie's bonkers. Let's get right into that.
Yeah. Do you guys like pickles?
No.
I love pickles. I'm so excited.
You see Kanye West as this icon, as this person, and he said some anti-Semitic things. So it's like, how do you deal with it?
There's nothing scarier than a student-run television show with an audience of 13.
Do you mean bi-weekly?
Don't I look stunning?
What?
I don't want to hold you back. Ow!
What now?
McKinley! Shut the hell up!
Let me just leave these babies here, Ricky, while I head on up to the saloon for the hour. I'm just gonna...
I've been your host, Lauren Gapp, and this is the Bi-Weekly Show.
Yeah!
Woo! All right, everybody, welcome back for that quick commercial break. So next up, we have Rachel Newman, who is a freshman and an elementary education major specializing in middle school math. That was a handful. She's my bestie and fellow Jew. Please give it up for Rachel, who is also doing stand-up. Yay! All right. All right, how is everybody tonight? All right, so as I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I am one of the only elementary education majors in a club full of communications majors, so I thought, hey, let me embarrass myself one more time by being the most unfunny person in the room. But as an elementary education major here at the University of Delaware, you do get a wide range of people. You have those that are way overqualified and
should be aerospace engineers. And then you have those that can't count to 5 on their fingers. And I think you know where I fall in that range. Anyways, so that's right. I will be the teacher of every single one of your future shitheads. And if I were you, I'd be terrified. No, I mean, seriously, they let me come here for 4 or 5 years. And then you're all gonna trust me with your future doctors and lawyers, or farmers. I don't judge. But we have this elementary math class, right? And it's exactly what you all think it is. We count blocks and we draw pretty pictures, but if I'm being completely honest, that class is so hard. I mean, I'm sitting here struggling, feeling like the dumbest person in the world, trying to figure out how many peanuts Patrick can fit in a bag at Patrick's fucking peanut stand. The shit's impossible. But let me paint this picture for you, right? Elementary education school teacher by day and stand-up comedian by night, right? Yeah, right? You've been down, hey, Johnny, it's okay. It's so okay. We'll learn how to share our toys. You'll get it next time. What's up, freaks? How are we tonight? Let's make this quick. I have a spelling test I have to give tomorrow. Kids are so weird, man. They aren't like humans yet, right? And they say some of the craziest things. I remember this one time, I went into a kindergarten classroom, right? 5-year-olds. And we were teaching them about refugees. I don't know who approved this, but we did it. And God, I walk in, I start teaching, and then, I wrap up my lesson. I say, okay, guys, let's think about some things that make us think of home. Again, I don't really know why, but we did it. Anyways, this kid raises his hand, and instead of saying miss or teacher, he said mom, which I feel like is a universally shared embarrassing experience that every kid goes through, and if you didn't, you're weird. Anyways, I bend down to him, and he says with a straight face, he goes, when I think of my home, I think of my grandma, but she died of heart failure. And then he started hysterical crying, and I'm trying to get the attention of the teacher in the corner who's flirting with the TA, while his friend next to me is trying to give me a kiss on the cheek. Why? I don't know. They're 5. I remember this other time, man. We went into this 3rd grade classroom to teach them about math, because we had to practice, right? Wanted to see if this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and, probably not, but that's okay. And probably end up doing, real estate on the side, but that's besides the point. When you walk into a 3rd grade classroom, you are getting judged. They will pick out every single thing that is wrong with you, and they will make sure that you know it's wrong with you, right? They're going to say, because this kid's just trying to impress this friend next to him. Jacob is trying to impress Ethan, right? And he goes, your shirt is stupid. And he went, yeah, right, dude, it's stupid, right? And I went, well, your dad left when you were 2, so I don't know what to tell you about that. But when I walked into this classroom, man, it looked like it was the start of a new world war and all hell had broken loose. I mean, this poor teacher. There was one kid trying to jab his friend with a pencil in the corner, and then there's one kid trying to make his great escape out the fire window, like, they'll never take me alive. I don't know. And then one girl's trying to cut her hair in the corner with safety scissors, so that was great. It was, oh my God, it was crazy. And then there's the teacher, the poor teacher in the corner, rocking back and forth saying, I could have been a communications major. Anyways, kids are so weird. Oh my God. Does anyone know, I know there's a couple of education majors here in the audience with me today. Yeah. Does anyone know the stigma that education majors get married by the time they're seniors? Because I do. Does anyone else think that's a little terrifying and crazy? Because I'm not ready to get married yet. But I told this to my now boyfriend, and we're about 2-ish months into our relationship, which is as good a time as any to bring up marriage, right? Just 2 months into the relationship, sprinkle a little bit of trust issues in there, right? He almost shit his pants, but it's okay. It happens sometimes. Anyone here in a relationship? Anyone? Relationships? Nice. Awesome. Good for you guys. Hope they last. Anyone meet their current partner at Delaware? Anyone? No one met their partners at Delaware? No way. Okay, so I did. Met my boyfriend at Delaware. And, we're only 2 months into the relationship, so, I still don't know if he sells, drugs on the side. But, if you want to meet him in the corner of the back parking lot a little later, he might have something for you. Anyways. dating on a college campus is really weird, right? Like, you can go on a date with a guy one day and then see him grinding on a girl in the frats on Thirsty Thursday the next day. But if I see this, like, I just went on a date with this guy, we had such a good time. This never happened. And I see him with another girl. Do I let that slide? No. I'm the type of person that would go up to him and make his night just that much worse. I would fully walk up to him, and I would be like, hey, oh my God. No, this is so crazy. You're the 2 out of 10 that can't kiss. I was just telling you about this, right? Oh my God, that's crazy. Yo, did you get that rash checked out? That could totally be an STD. You should probably go see a doctor too. Anyways, that's all for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have an awesome night.
All right. That was Rachel, everybody. So next up, we have Kelly Lorenzo, who is a sophomore in criminal justice major. She will be singing Sandcastles by Beyonce. You can check her out on Instagram as well. She hasn't had any music yet, but it's up and coming, so you can talk to her after the show as well. So please welcome Kelly.
Switching up the vibe literally completely, so Jesus Christ. All right. Sandcastles that are washed away. I made you cry when I walked away. And although I promised that I couldn't stay, baby, every promise don't work out that way. No, every promise don't work out that way. Dishes smashed on my counter from our last encounter. Pictures snatched out the frame, and I scratched out your name and your face. But what is it about you that I can't erase, baby? When every promise don't work out that way. No, every promise don't work out that way. Your heart is broken 'cause I walked away. Show me your scars, and I won't walk away. Yeah, and I know I promised that I couldn't stay, baby. And every promise don't work out that way. No, every promise don't work out that way. Thank you.
All right, guys, give it up for Kelly once again. She's amazing. All right, so for our final performance of the night, let's welcome Kevin Romano, who is a senior in music education major. He is also known as Poop Dollum bi-weekly. Woo! So please give it up for Kevin, who is also doing stand-up tonight.
All right, hi folks. I hope you all found the studio all right, because I did not. They say, oh, it's Pearson room 101C. Oh, so there's a letter involved now? Anytime a room has a number and a letter, you just know there's going to be some wacky gerrymandering going on. Well, the studio used to just be 101, but we cut it up into A through C to make way for a dog groomer and a licensing consultant. We're squeezing every bit of real estate out of Pearson Hall. Next year, the auditorium's going to be divided into A through W. We just added 23 new majors to the university. The future is now. All right. I have a bit of a bad habit in my stand-up comedy. I tend to just make up a lot of my stories, which isn't a huge deal, but it just feels kind of scummy. So I'm going to make each and every one of you a promise. Everything I say on stage tonight is real. It all actually happened, no hyperbole. And I think a great way to get things started is with a story from a few months ago where I got caught scratching my balls at a Royal Farms. So let's begin. So there I was scratching my balls at a Royal Farms. I am dressed to the nines in a full tuxedo because I had just done a show. That's not relevant to the plot, but I'm just painting a picture. And I'm walking from my car to the front door. And as I'm walking, I do that man thing, that extra lunge just to even things out down there. You know what I'm talking about. And there's a car coming right towards me. And as I'm peeling, I make eye contact with the driver, not on purpose, because that's weird, but I'm just spread eagle staring down this Chevy Spark. So he pulls up, rolls down the window, and yells, "Yeah, man, I know the feeling." Now, call me prudish, but I would never say that to a stranger who just did something mildly embarrassing. Like, not in a million years. You could probably rob a bank in front of me, and I'd just be like, well, we all live our own truths. But, like, it's not okay to comment on people touching their junk, especially to the people touching their own junk. Unless, of course, I just, like, fully whipped it out at the Royal Farms ordering kiosk, like, zoop. Just right on the touch screen. Then, if you are a certified ROFO employee, you can be like, hey man, that's not what we do here. We at the Aberdeen, Maryland Royal Farms have standards to uphold, and you just totally schlonged out the ordering screen. That's disgusting for all parties involved. I just saw Bubba over there put a finger in his ass and then order a sandwich on that screen. I'm just concerned for your safety and the safety of others. You have a nice day. There's an STD clinic down the street. But luckily, I didn't do that. The guy just yelled at me from his car. I should have killed him. But my suburban instincts got the best of me, so I just did that white person thing where I just shrug and... So he starts laughing and going, yeah, I know that's right, man. You balls sticking, you gotta do what you gotta do. And to add insult to injury, he had a dog in the passenger seat who joined in, going like... And, like, what was that for? That dog didn't contribute anything with its yapping. It was just being a yes man to its owner. Like, hey, look, that guy's scratching his balls. Yeah, boss, and he sure ain't much to look at neither. That crusty-eyed little shit. What was it doing in the passenger seat anyway? It was only the size of a football. Like, if he got in an accident, that airbag sending it straight out the back, like... I would never wish harm on an animal. I just wanted to shut up about my crotch. Crazy canine character. So, I hope you all enjoyed my sexual harassment story. I was at a friend's house a while ago. He has a cat named Oreo. Oreo was rizzing me up, trying to get me to play with him. Like, what's good, man? You want to come back to my tower? Want to bat a couple balls on strings, sit in a tube for a while? So I asked my friend. I said, "Hey, do you have any cat toys for Oreo?" And he says, "I think I got a shoelace in that drawer over there." I said, man, Oreo just wined and dined me. He deserves better than some stank-ass shoelace. But I guess it'll have to do. So I opened the drawer, and inside there is a shoelace and nothing else. Man, is this your dedicated shoelace drawer? Has this guy never heard of a junk drawer? Well, if you open the next one over, that's where I keep my pumpkin seed. Next to that's a bit of a multi-purpose drawer. It's got an HDMI cable and lip balm. These next two drawers kind of go together. The first one has one chopstick, and I think you can piece together the rest of the joke. Sometimes the simple stuff is the best. I can't really blame him for that, though. Like, I do weird stuff, too. For instance, recently, whenever I'm doing stuff around the house, like cleaning laundry, I put on 90s Weather Channel recordings on the TV. Bear with me. It's the perfect background noise. Like music podcasts, you got to pay attention to all that. But the weather forecast on a random Tuesday in Philly in 1996, that's just in one ear and out the other. I have a YouTube playlist of like 90 hours worth of Weather Channel footage. Reminder, everything in this set is true. Sometimes I get picky with it, though, because the forecast will be for, like, Seattle, and I'm like, that's not where I am. This doesn't feel real. So I'll specifically look up recordings from the Mid-Atlantic. But then what if I'm listening in December and the recordings from, like, July? Can't have that. I'll look up winter Mid-Atlantic Weather Channel footage, 1992 to 1999. It has to be between those dates, because earlier than that, it doesn't feel nostalgic anymore. And after that, the Weather Channel changed up their design language to look more modern, and it doesn't feel cozy anymore. Also, some videos have mid-roll ads on YouTube, and that breaks the illusion, so those ones I downloaded onto a hard drive. And finally, just to bring it all together, it didn't feel right coming out of my modern flat screen, so I am so dead ass right now, a period-correct monitor with dials, wood grain, and crappy speakers. You know those CRTs? You turn them off and they go... My whole point with this is my sister recently made me take an online autism test. Which, we know, I know, she knows, but still, like, fuck you. I still took the test, though. She was watching over my shoulder to make sure I didn't say anything stupid, which I so would have. One of the first questions was, do you find yourself becoming strongly absorbed in something, even obsessional? And I had the audacity to say out loud, I don't know. I like a lot of different things. She smacks me upside the head and goes, well, you get a grip, dude. You have a 1980s television set dedicated to playing vintage Weather Channel footage. And suddenly the shoelace drawer doesn't seem so crazy. Another question was, are you often the last person to understand a joke? Well, that depends on whether or not the joke is about the Weather Channel during the Clinton administration or a similarly boner-killing topic. One of the final questions was, do you find patterns in things all the time? Okay, explain patterns and explain all the time, because there are patterns like all around us, but I don't stop my day to go, there's one in those bricks right there. They seem to be arranged in an orderly fashion. I'm autistic, not a psychopath. Do neurotypical people see like a rug with a red square and a yellow diamond and a red square and a yellow diamond and a red square and a yellow diamond and be like, wow, what a random assortment of shapes and colors? Just for me to swoop in and go, hey man, that's a pattern. Oh, okay, I see it now. Man, that's clever. That's good. Is that a coincidence? Did it just come out that way? Nah, someone probably designed it. Well, hats off to them, because this is great. This is really good. Can any like normies out here confirm? No? Good. That's a stupid test. I'm running out of time, but I feel the need to tell you my results. Yes. And that's as deep as it got. It wasn't scientific at all. They were just like, yeah, dude, probably. If you want to be sure, you can book a live consultation. I'm pretty confident in this answer. If you need me, I'll be buying new vacuum tubes for my 1988 Panasonic TV and playing with the shoelace. Thanks so much, folks. You've all been amazing. Have a great night.
All right, everyone, let's give another hand for Kevin. All right, well, that's all the time we have, folks. I'm Haley, and thank you, everyone, for coming to the mic. Don't forget to check us out on our YouTube, Instagram, you name it. We are STN. Have a good night, Newark. Woo!